This video is to assist anyone that's going to be installing a PTZ camera on a pole. There's going to be two scenarios that we cover. The first is going to be if there is power on the pole, and the second is going to be if there is not, but if there's power nearby on a nearby building. Either way, you're going to have a mounting bracket that you're going to use for your camera. I'm going to just show you those holes there. So it will be securely mounted on the pole, and then the cable just feeds through there. This is what the PTZ camera will look like, and then this cable will just be fed through the mount. So if you had power at your pole, you would just plug in the injector. Then when the injector is plugged into power, the cable is needed to connect the camera to the injector. So in this demonstration, cable F, let's just imagine that this is cable F. It will be plugged into the injector, and then the other end of the cable would be plugged into the camera. For mounting the antenna on the pole, you can see that there's a slot in the back of the antenna, and zip tie is often used to just keep that in place. So it would be mounted next to the camera. Just like a camera, the antenna has its own injector. So when you see antenna injector, think of that power outlet. In this situation, the camera injector and the antenna injector would probably be sharing the same outlet, one on the top, one on the bottom. So in summary, your camera and your antenna would be installed at the top of the pole. We would need to know the length of the cable for the antenna and the cable for the camera. There would be an injector for both devices, and those injectors require power, which in this case would be at the pole. In this example, there is no power at the pole, and so what would need to be done is a longer length of cable leading back to a building where there is power. So we know that the injectors require power, so somewhere in the barn there's going to be a place to plug in your camera and your antenna. We would just need to know the length of cables to get there. In an ideal situation, you would be able to trench to the building and run the cable underground. If that's not possible and you're not concerned about how it will look, you can have your cable suspended in the air. But we would just need to know the length from the camera and the antenna, so here and here, and then this, in this case it's very small, but in real life this would be two long cables, whatever it takes, to get the injectors to be plugged in on the nearest by building. In this example, it would be to the barn, and there would be power inside which we could use. If you're going to use power on the pole, it's important to keep your injector safe so it's not damaged by weather. We recommend that there's going to be some type of weatherproof box that you would be able to put the injectors in so that they aren't damaged by the weather.